everybody, welcome back to another video with me. It's Mike. Welcome back to my channel. I've got a little vanilla Cafe Nero, I don't know, ice blendy thing, whatever they call it. It's like a cooler or a Frostino. Oh, it's delightful. Anyway, today I have been baking. It's been a little while, I'm not gonna lie, and I wanted to do baking on this channel. I know that I'm mostly booky, and it's always going to be mostly booky. Oh, is this gonna fall? No, it's okay. But there's more to my life than just reading and talking about books. There just is. I love books, but I also love baking and I love cakes. Like, I love baking and I love cakes. So today I've been baking, and I've been craving ever since my auntie's wedding, when the dessert was like, it was a warm chocolate brownie with vanilla ice cream on the top and raspberries dotted around, and it had like a raspberry coulis like streak. Oh, it was so nice, and I've been craving some brownies, so I wanted to make some, and I have this book. Let me show you this book. This is the one I used today. It is Willie's Chocolate Bible. It is by Willie Harcourt-Cooze. This really is the Bible for chocolate recipes. I have got rid of all my other chocolate recipe books, and I've just kept this one. It's delightful. You can see my little post-it situation. These are the ones that I absolutely definitely have to make. So this is the book that I found the recipe for my brownies in, and the reason I tried this in the first place is because it's actually gluten-free. A very good friend of mine, Jess, who is gluten intolerant, so I went looking for a recipe that I could make that was gluten-free, and I found this and tried it, and oh, it is a delight. As with most recipes of mine though, or recipes that I use, I have embellished ever so slightly. But I'm gonna, oh, this book is beautiful, look at all that chocolate. Okay guys, I really highly recommend this cooking book, especially if you're into chocolate like I am. I'm gonna find the recipe for you. Okay, so this is the recipe. It's chocolate brownies, and they're flour free, and I don't use the nuts in them. So yeah, I have filmed some snippets now of me actually making the brownies, and I had such elaborate plans for how it was going to look, and there was going to be music, and there was going to be like kind of different angled shots and things, and I tried my best, but as per usual, my camera battery wasn't charged, and I tried to use my other Canon, the big camera, but it is funny, it doesn't refocus whilst filming videos. There's probably a way to do it, but I like the automatic focus, perhaps just me being lazy, but I'm not very good at the actual focusing. Anyway, so I use my phone. I will insert clips, but this is a really easy recipe, guys. So all you need is 200 grams of chocolate, minimum 70%. This recipe says 100%, I had 70%, it's fine. 100 grams of butter, 4 eggs, 200 grams of caster sugar. And then the recipe says walnuts, but I didn't use walnuts. I used chocolate chips, 200 grams chocolate chips. I used 100 grams of white and 100 grams of milk. And I always add 2 heaped tablespoons of raw cacao powder, because I don't have the 100 grams of cacao that Willie sells. I'll link stuff below. I like to add some of the 100% cacao powder, which is by Lucy B. I got that from Lakeland, and oh, could have been Tesco, could have been either. But it's really good. It really does add a bit more depth. I also always add vanilla when I'm working with chocolate. I just like the combination of vanilla and chocolate, so I always put in a tablespoon of vanilla extract. And I also, this is a trick I learned from the Barefoot Contessa, from her programs. Whenever she cooks with chocolate, she adds coffee, whether that be instant espresso powder, which is what I use here, only a tablespoon, or actually actual cold espresso. So yeah, so those are my additions: vanilla, cacao powder, chocolate chips, and instant espresso powder, which I also get from Tesco, by the way. So this is all you have to do. You have to preheat your oven to 170 degrees, and you have to line a tin with baking paper, and I always line mine so that there's extra paper on the long sides of the tin, so it's really easy to pull out. then you melt the chocolate and butter in a heat-proof bowl over a pan of gently simmering water, making sure the bottom of the bowl is not in contact with the water. Just a little tip from me at this point. For a long time, I couldn't get my bowl to sit in a saucepan without touching the water. So here's my top tip. Use a small saucepan with a big bowl, and that seems to allow it to sit better on the rim of the saucepan so that it doesn't touch the water as it's boiling. Yay. So you melt the chocolate and the butter, and then you mix it together and you set it to cool. And then in a mixer, and I really would advise here using an electric whisk, because if you have to do this by hand, you're going to go mental. But you just whisk the eggs and the sugar in the mixer or the large bowl until it's light and creamy, and it really, really does go light and creamy. And then you fold in the melted chocolate with the butter, and at that point is when I add the cacao powder, 2 tablespoons, the instant espresso powder, 1 tablespoon, the vanilla extract, 1 tablespoon, and then 200 grams of chocolate chips, however which way you want it. At that point, to be honest, you could put anything in that you want. I just like chocolate, and it just dawned on me that actually this recipe has 4 different types of chocolate in it. 200 grams of melted dark chocolate, milk chocolate chips, white chocolate chips, and cacao. Wow, this is a chocolate lover's dream. So you just mix it all together, you spoon it into the tin, and you bake it for about 20 minutes. And I do cook it, the recipe says 15 to 20, but I cook it for 20 because you know your oven, so you know how long things will take to cook at different parts of your oven. So this was the middle shelf for me, 20 minutes, and that is still not fully cooked because it carries on cooking as it cools, and you do want it to be fudgy, not like all sponge, because I find that the brownies you buy from places like Costa and Starbucks, they're more sponge than they are gooey. They're still gooey, but not like really gooey. Then you take it from the oven and you let it cool in the tin, and then you cut it up when you're ready to eat, and you just eat. Happy days. It says here it'll keep for a week in an airtight tin. So, and I trust him, Willie, because this recipe is fantastic. So I would really highly recommend this book. There's so many lovely recipes in here. And actually, I do love chocolate, and I do love this recipe book. So I'm tempted to make a few more recipes from this book and film them too. So guys, I hope you liked this little video of brownie making goodness. We're gonna have them tonight after a Chinese takeaway because it's Friday night and it's bank holiday weekend, and I'm actually off today and I'm off tomorrow, so I'm going to enjoy these brownies this evening, probably warm with some nice cold ice cream. I don't have raspberries though, but you know, they're still gonna be good. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and I will see you soon. Bye.